Hey guys, so this is something a little different from what I've done in the past, in that basically it's a city streak on the map Urbanguessr by Wolf Trekker, and so all you have to do is get the right city correctly as many times as in a row, but it's actually really hard because there's a lot of cities ranging from like really big to pretty small actually. So, it took me about an hour to get 13, which is currently the record. I'll probably get beaten soon because it's a new record that people are trying to go for now. But yeah, so I'm gonna do just talk through mine. It won't take an hour because I'm gonna be like skipping through the parts where I'm just searching. But yeah. Okay, so first one. Started off, we have Mekong and yellow plates. So we have to be in Laos, and there was no car that we could see, so it had to be Vientiane. So that was an easy one to start. And then here it says Vallarta on the sign, which Puerto Vallarta is a town in Mexico. And so now I'm just trying to make sure, looking around just to see if there's anything else, because could be just a red herring or something. But I look around, landscape fits, and everything else fits, so I just click. And so that's two quick ones. So here we got Canada, but I don't know exactly where it is. So we're on Hamilton Street, according to that. Can't really read that sign, but I think it says Hamilton Street anyways. I'm looking for a city name of some sort, but I don't see any anywhere. And then I zoom in here, and then I realize that 306, I've seen that area code before in Saskatchewan, and so it had to be Saskatoon or Regina, and I just thought, look in Regina first, and then I see Hamilton Street is this one, so that fits because we got the RBC over there, and then also the bank, that other bank over there. So that was somewhat lucky, but yeah, I got it pretty fast there. And now this one is pretty difficult because it's Cambodia, based off the script here, and there's absolutely no clues. So this is where I can start skipping, because basically what I do is search through every town, and I think eventually I do find it in, yeah, somewhere over here. But yeah, basically I found it in that town. It fit. Very excited. And then next one says MacArthur, which I felt like I'd heard of a MacArthur in Australia, but turns out there isn't one. There's a lot of yellow plates. I don't realize that at first, but yellow plates means we should be in New South Wales, but for some reason I'm looking over here. And so I go looking for MacArthur, but I don't find it anywhere. And then I realize here that it actually says Campbelltown Physiotherapy. So now I start looking for a Campbelltown. There is a Campbelltown right here in Tasmania. And I look through it, but we have a road name over here which says Almond. Can't really read it, but that's what it says. And there's absolutely no Almond Street, and also none of the streets even fit in this town, and it looks pretty small. So it turns out it's not the right Campbelltown. And later I do find an actual MacArthur over here, but again, none of the streets fit, so we're not there. And then I eventually do find a Campbelltown near Sydney. I don't notice it right away because it was just a little bit to the south. There it is. And then there's Almond Street. And so that means we're right there. Another 5K. So that's 5 now. Now, we got Spanish. Architecture is pretty Chilean, and the car is also white, so that fits for Chile. And again, I'm looking for some city name, but I don't see any anywhere. There might have been one on that poster, but it's blurred out. So I check everywhere over here, but can't find any. So basically what I do is I see there's a pretty decently tall building there, so it's probably a big town. Could obviously mean Santiago, but I tend to like looking through the smaller towns first before I go and look in Santiago because it's such a big town. So I check Concepcion. I basically am looking at the road angle. And honestly, the road angle does kind of fit. Also, our road is divided like this with a little bit of a green area in the middle. So that kind of fits for Concepcion. But now I'm trying to look for some of the POIs. I don't see any of them. So I'm not entirely sure that we're there. And I also check here. Again, none of the POIs. Basically, for the next long period of time, I'm looking through different towns, seeing if the road angle fits, and also that we have a divided road, and then trying to look for the POIs. And actually, eventually, I don't actually find it, but I look in Santiago, and Santiago does kind of fit with the road angle like this. And so eventually I click, and then turns out to be Santiago, a little bit farther that way, but I'll take it. It's the right town. So next round was not any easier. And I think this one might have actually been my most impressive round, because all we have to work off here is a mosque and the fact that we are in Jordan from the looks of it, based on the architecture. And so all I do in this round is just look through every town to see if I find a mosque POI and then see if the road angles fit. And somehow I eventually do actually find it right here. So I'm looking through, I think, Madaba. And so there's the Jerusalem Mosque, and the road angle does fit because we have this one road coming off, and then we're at an intersection here. Like that, perfect. And then just to make sure I like compare the writing on there, and it does look like it says the same thing. So that seals it 100%. I'm excited, you see. And so there we go, next round. So that's 7 now. So now I see this. We're in Indonesia from the language, and it says Niaga on that sign. Now I think that Niaga is a town. Obviously, I've never heard of it because it sounds like a pretty small town, but I'm just looking around, seeing if there's any other sort of clues on here. It looks like it might say something over there, but I can't really read it. There's also this. It says Nagasari and also Karawang Barat. And so I don't really know what to look for because there's several things on there that I see. I see Niaga again. So I started looking for Niaga basically throughout Indonesia. And then I look several times throughout Indonesia. And like eventually I started looking for Karawang Barat. And so there it is. This took me about like 10 minutes to find. Less than the other two rounds though. And now round 4 out of 5, which was not any easier by any means. Because again, absolutely nothing that I could go off. Maybe there was something on that sign, but I couldn't read it. And yeah, we just got this car sales place, and based off of the fact that we have only Arabic writing and with the red and white sides on the road over here, which are a typical Israel thing, so that means it's probably in Palestine. And so my instinct is just to go into Ramallah and try and look for it. But I don't find it. I actually never find the thing that I'm looking for, the car sales place or that building in the distance. I haven't started looking in Jordan for some reason. Don't know why. I was getting kind of desperate. Man, I keep going, keep trying to look. Eventually, I go back into Ramallah. I click there, and I'm like, well, there's not really much I can do except for try and see if it's Ramallah, and if it's not, well, then that's it. So, let's see, I spent quite a long time on this. But here, I just say, okay, I guess I just have to give up and go for Ramallah. And so, 1 second, I check one more town. Looks like. And then yeah, I'm just going for Ramallah. Turns out it is Ramallah. There's AutoZone Company, which isn't actually what the name said on there, but I'll take it. I got Ramallah. So next round is South Africa. And again, I'm looking for stuff based off of how it feels. I wanted to say it was the Johannesburg area, but I really wasn't entirely sure. And so I'm just looking for some stuff, but there's really not anything. It looks like we're at some sort of intersection and there's like a triangle here. It's a interesting sort of parking lot triangle thing. And so that's what I'm trying to look for. I'd look through basically every city over here for quite a while. Just searching through every city around here. And then I start searching through the Johannesburg suburbs, trying to see, looking around a little more. And then I go even farther. And then I zoom back into the Johannesburg suburbs. I'm trying to look for Springs, Nigel, a little bit farther. I look in this town, Weston area, town I've never heard of before, but here it is. Here's the triangle, and then that's the building right next to us, American Swiss. I saw it there, and then there's also the post office. So that took me ages, and honestly, that is like one of my most impressive games ever because all of those rounds were pretty difficult. So this one was a little bit of a relief because we had the 71 area code for Brazil, which is Salvador. Only thing was I was hoping that it was Salvador and not some like suburb, like outskirts town or something. So I do look a little bit through like some outskirts town, but don't see it, so then I just click in Salvador, and voila, it was Salvador. And now, this one was honestly one of my favorite rounds because based off of this like architecture, it really gave me like an Edinburgh vibe. And so I'm looking around. Honestly, everything fits. We got the yellow plates for UK, and that like sort of architecture. It's that like darkish brown stone that they use. And so just looking around, and now I look into the map to see if I can find it. And here it is actually. That actually took me very surprisingly little time, and there we go, 5K. That was pretty impressive. So now we're in Spain. Got Spanish here. And it's just your generic Spanish city, really. And so there it says the city center, and I'm trying to look through those, see if it mentions the city anywhere, but it really doesn't. So I can't tell. I'm trying to look at that plate, but I can't read it. And then I noticed this, and over there it says Teruel. Now I knew I had heard of it, but I had absolutely no clue where Teruel was. So I look on the map for it and actually found it quickly. So yeah, I spent a little bit longer trying 5K it just because I felt like it. And I do find it over here. We got the Panaderia, which you can see on the map. This one, Panaderia Pasteleria. And so, have to be there. Perfect. And this was the round which I lost on. So, it was very difficult. You see, I'm kind of enraged. I like start spinning around because there's absolutely no clues here that can go off, and all I see is like that plate, but it just says like 5AB, and so like it's not one of those plates that like has a regional like thing on it. And so basically, honestly, I was thinking it was Serbia, but I like look a little bit throughout the towns, but I give up pretty quickly. Yeah, I went for Belgrade, and turns out it was actually Turkey. But whatever, I definitely would not have found this small town called Sapansa. And yeah, that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, don't know if this was the best way to go about it. It's just that like it's a 1 hour video, and I'm not gonna post the whole thing because I know nobody's gonna go and watch for 1 hour. So yeah, this is just my commentary over it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.